Okay, and
So what I'm going to do here is jump over to our automation software fond and do a quick little demonstration. I'm going to demonstrate how we can get quite a long way with some very simple rules and simple data. So this is fond. I've just got a blank account here with no projects in it. I'll create a new project. All right, so I'll give that project a name, webinar 1, and I'm going to select an architecture. So I'll talk a little bit more about architectures in a moment, but I'm going to use an architecture that's fairly common, where we've got a cabinet with 288 ports and connecting out to 8 port terminals or closures. I'll talk more about this architecture in a moment. For now, I'll just save that. The next step is I'm going to get some input data. The input data is going to determine where fond is going to run the fibers to and the potential paths that it can take to run that fiber. I'm going to source the data using area select. An area select is a feature in fond that we use to connect users with the data that they need to generate the design. So any patch on the map here is where we currently have data. Anywhere in the United States we can source data for, and that's just part of the subscription that users get access to this. So I'm going to jump in to Illinois, Monticello. Yeah, Monticello. All right. So to use area select, all I do is just draw a polygon, and this polygon just needs to surround the neighborhood that we're interested in designing, the neighborhood or the town. I'm just going to use a small section of Monticello at first. All right, so we've got 464 homes in this little polygon. I've imported the addresses, but I've also imported the underground path, that's these orange lines. So once I've imported that, I'll draw the central office location. So this could be where we're placing the OLTs. It could also be a tie-in point to a network, to an existing network. And now I'll go ahead and hit generate design. So what Fund's doing here is it's taking all of the address points and it's taking all of the underground path and it's considering all the different ways that it can connect each of those homes back up to the central office via that cabinet through the 1x32 splitters. And it's following a set of rules to do that. It wants to minimize the total amount of equipment, but it needs to do that while maintaining that maximum drop distance of 750 feet. So that's the distance from the address
So
to
getting
no more than
film video line appropriate
no more than
for
200 feet homes connecting back up to that cabinet.
So one of us can track them.
what's her name, young lady?
Once it's chosen the
Sarah.
location of all of
I
the
like
tabs,
her.
Oh,
So
good.
what does she do?
So
Is that it, video and web and?
she Rose hired
in a
her
way that
to
minimizes
do
the total.
content creation.
And then once we've created the whole design, Fond will go through and count up all the different materials and come up with a little cost. So that design's now finished. So that was just a really simple design. This is the sort of design that will get you halfway there on the way to that constructible design. This design is good for a feasibility study, and the feedback we get is it's good for around 10% estimation. All right. So what I just showed was how to create a feasibility design. So all we gave to the software was the underlying data along with a basic set of rules. So that's fine for a feasibility design, but for a high-level design, we need to be able to give it more information. The engine needs more information. And often that information is given by fixing the input data. So in that example, I just used underground data. Often that's all that's available. Aerial, strand, and pole data isn't always available. And so sometimes street centerline designs can be a good way to get started. They can be used as a basis for a walkout guide or for estimating footage. And you can use that design then to walk out and collect information on where your poles are. A common question I get just after doing a design like that is usually something like, can I use my own data or the data from a utility company or electricity co-op for a feasibility design? My answer is Almost always yes. So data from co-ops tends to be quite good. If it does need to be cleaned, we try to give you the tools you need to clean it. So you can usually do that yourself, but then we can also use automation and scripts to clean it more quickly. But yes, generally that's that pole and strand data and underground cable electric data that you get from co-ops or utilities can be used for feasibility designs. And when that happens, those designs can be extremely accurate because the underlying data is already so good. So what I'm going to do here.
Well, that I hope was a good use of 5 minutes. I don't think that I could possibly have explained the capabilities of the software in any less amount of time. So
is that software, will that software cover Mendocino County?
absolutely, it'll cover anywhere, and it's rapid design, and it for a high level information. I mean, just basic information like you saw. It costs $1 per household. I think it cost, which is well within our budget under the LADA grant for design and engineering, with somewhere around 40,000 or 35,000 households in the county.
Oh, okay.
And if you actually want like much more detailed information, it costs up to $15 per household, and that would be somewhere in the neighborhood of, I don't know, $600,000, which is more than we have available.
Right.
But much like the GeoPartner software that we had last year as a pilot program, you just draw a polygon around a given region and it does a bunch of calculations in matters of minutes. Later in the presentation, we do have the information that we gathered last year from GeoPartners, which is no longer available to us. I mean, the pilot program ended.
Oh, right.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm open to comments. Go ahead, Philip.
I was going to say, yes, let's open the comment, but then I thought we should move on to SB 156.
As you like.
Okay, good.
Okay, good. I'm just going to pull up the slideshow and move on to SB 156.